WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have an Irish whiskey in front of me, J.J. Corry The Hanson, a blended grain whiskey from Ireland. Ooh. All right. First of all, congratulations, 0.7 liter. Usually J.J. Corry, which means here in this case Louise, does bottle her bottles at 0.7 liter. Unfortunately, I'm in Germany, which means Germany somehow gets always 0.5 liter, which is, of course, better for the price, but bad for my content. All right, good. The Hanson, available at this moment still by irishmalts.com. The only place that they're actually allowed or that it has it. There's 564 barrels. It's 46%, whiskey base number 157296. And this goes off for basically 54 euros. Now, there are 3 ex-bourbon barrels here mixed together. One of these barrels is a 4-year-old from Kentucky that Louise personally picked out the barrel. One of these is a 10-year-old. And one of these is, I don't know. I think it's the other one is also 4-year-old. All right, I just know there's 3. I know there's 4-year-old. I know there's 10-year-old juice in here. So, now, who is the Hanson? Oh, let me first pour so I know what I'm talking about. Hanson is the son-in-law of J.J. Corry. So, Louise did her homework here for J.J. Corry, found out that there's a son-in-law named Mr. Hanson. The Gauger Hanson, actually, to be honest. And the Gauger Hanson was an excise man. His job was to actually calculate the duties for bulk goods, especially also wine. So that's a wonderful, wonderful story, yeah? So it said in the 19th century whiskey trade, it was exercise men who kept everything in line. In their trademark bowler hats, these gaugers tested bonders' stocks, as well as tracing down little stills and rowdy sibbins. Men to be avoided, except that J.J. Corry, whiskey bonder and blender and Kilrush, was smarter than that. He befriended John Andrew Hanson, the young exercise man for County Clare, and regularly invited him to share a tranche of his best stuff. And when Gauger Hanson proposed to his youngest daughter, Josie, J.J. certainly didn't object. Over a century later, this mellow, rich blend of Irish grain whiskey is bonded and blended on the McEwen family farm in Connaclair. So let's savor the notes of ripe fruits, vanilla, and hints of spice, raise a glass, and give a tip of the hat to family bonds to J.J. Corry and Gauger Hanson. All right. Very good. So you actually have here the nice little hat on the top here. On the back, you have also the nice little hat. A blend of Irish grain whiskeys, batch number 1. Very good, 46%. Now, I had high hopes for this. I adore Louise. I admire Louise. 20-some odd years in the spirits business, international, big player there, doing a lot of the key account management and so on. Married a guy in London. They saw each other once a month, flying around the world to do so, and then it was just like, no. So her father gave up the farm. She took over the farm, said, I'm not going to be farmer. I'm going to be a bonder of whiskey, and brought back this old science, this old trade of not producing whiskey, but actually having your own casks, going to distilleries, letting them fill up your bottle barrels with their distillate, bringing them back and actually storing, mixing, and also bonding the whiskey until it's ready, and then bottling it. That's what she does, and she has overcome hundreds, if not thousands, of hurdles, of booby traps, of governmental red tape, and of just unbelievable bullshit that she has had to go through in order to actually bottle some of her whiskey as she's done. Respect, tip of my hat to her. Now, this whiskey here is something I bought myself, so it's paid by Jason. On the nose, there's a light vanilla character. I like grains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out a Irish grain, a 10-year-old single grain. Now, I'm fairly sure that this is that one barrel of the same stuff that's in here as in here. So there's two barrels basically of 4-year-old Great Northern Distillery single grain, and there's one barrel 10-year-old triple distilled Bushmills grain in here. So Kirk and Greer over in Ireland, it's about 50 euros, so a little bit cheaper than this even. And this is the entire 10-year-old. This is mixed with 4-year-old together, or cut, or bended, blended, or bonded, however you want to say. Now, the first thing that you do notice is the color. This is natural color. This is also natural color. This is 46%. This is 43%. But if you look at the colors, this is a very light, very pale hay color, and this is a dark amber rich color because this was actually aged in first fill bourbon. Over here we have an ex-bourbon barrel, so we don't know if everything was first fill. Nowhere is mentioned. So on the nose, light, a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of grain. Oh, much deeper, vanillas, a little bit of caramels, a little bit of wood is actually on the nose. Much complexer nose in general. Price, the same. All right, let's try them. Cheers. Wow. It's a fairly middle long finish, and it hits you like a ton of bricks. The bitterness, the alcohol, the bam of this whiskey is just really almost overpowering. It almost brings tears to my eyes. If you had a fairly bad, I'm going to use the word bad, aquavit from maybe Denmark or Scandinavia, that is a wheated whiskey. That is a basically, you can put it in a barrel as well, take it down the equator, come back up, and then you got it. It's similar. This is not a great blend, and I'm very sorry, Louise. I love you as a person, but I do not love this whiskey. Just going over to what I would assume, which I'm fairly sure of, is the original 10-year product that you also have in your warehouse. That is what single grain Irish whiskey or grain whiskey in Ireland should taste like. From the very beginning to the very end, you have light caramel notes. You have a wonderful grain moment. You have a tiny little bit of the wood. The alcohol is a supporting role, almost a buttery feeling. From the beginning to the end. So, nice. Here you go. Oh, a little bit watery at the beginning. Oh, a little bit of fruitiness. Oh, wait a second. There's a little bit of bitterness. And wham, the alcohol hits you as if you're going to be knocked out by, I don't know. Let's go to Muhammad Ali. Yes, am I exaggerating? A little bit, but you're getting the point here. All right, cleanse the palate. One last try. Now, what I did not do in my German video, which I want to do in my English video, is I want to dilute it down to about 25%. I like to see if there's any type of anything wrong with the whiskey there. Absolutely nothing wrong with this whiskey, except for one tiny little factor: time. I am going to be cruel, and I'm going to say this whiskey was released at least 2 years too early. If J.G. Corry would have waited until it was a 6-year-old, with it blended together with a 12-year-old, I think that would have been a halfway decent whiskey. But at the moment, the way it's set up, the way this whiskey actually Four little drops here in my glass. The way this whiskey delivers itself in the glass. Comes in that bitterness. And now the punch. Sorry. I'm going to give this a D. This is a whiskey the world doesn't need yet. Sorry. Value for money. Sorry, not worth it. 50 euros for this. No, sorry. I'd rather drink Jameson instead of this. And you can get 2.5 bottles of Jameson for this. And I would much rather prefer that. Personal opinion. Yes, I know it's a blended single grain. Okay, I have a grain over here. This is much, much, much better than that. What a shame. All right, my question of the day is, do you know any other blended grains out there on the market? Either in Scotland or also in Ireland. So a blended grain would be you take it from 2 different distilleries and you blend just the grains. No malt, just grains. My tiny little story, and I hope Louise will be able to say no to the story, is about a year ago, Louise came over to Germany together with the owner of www.irish-whiskies.de, Mareike Spitzer, and we did a blending course together. And everyone else blended their malts with their grains, and Jason did something else. I blended my malts and made a blended malt, and I blended my grains and made a blended grain. No one else did that. And it's interesting that a year later I see a blended grain. So I don't know if I inspired Louise or not. If so, if not, I didn't think so. All right, good. So, tiny little story on the side there. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking. Thank you very much for subscribing, as well as sharing these videos if you want. Maybe not this one, but other videos where I do some cool stuff and talk about some great Irish or some great exotic whiskeys that are good. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, all the best. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.